Hey everybody, so today's video is all about health at every size. So I'm going to go into what health at every size even is and why it's really important that I cover it. So to me, it's really important that I cover health at every size and explain what it is because it's a huge aspect of my methodology behind coaching. And it's really important to understand in the anti-diet, intuitive eating, and joyful movement space. So to start off, I'm going to cover the main components of health at every size. And this is directly from the Health at Every Size community website, and you can find it at hayescommunity.com. And the first component that they cover is respect. And respect is celebrating body diversity. And what this does is it honors differences in size, age, race, ethnicity, gender, disability, sexual orientation, religion, class, and other human attributes. The other component is critical awareness, and it says that this challenges scientific and cultural assumptions about size and weight. It also values body knowledge and lived experiences. The last component is compassionate self-care. And it says finding joy and moving one's body and eating in a flexible and attuned manner that values pleasure and honors internal cues of hunger, satiety, and appetite, while also respecting the social conditions that frame our eating options. So all in all, what this does is it reconstructs this narrative that thinness equals health and fat equals unhealthy. Okay, so knowing all of this, if weight doesn't equal health, then what is the solution? What is health? And what Health at Every Size really promotes is that health is all about engaging in health promoting behaviors without focusing on weight. So one example I like to use is if every single person engaged in the same exact eating behaviors and exercise routine and managed their stress the same and slept the same amount every day, that would look different on every single person. Every single body would look different. And when you engage in these health promoting behaviors, depending on where you're at currently, you might gain weight, you might lose weight, or your weight might stay exactly the same. But the point is, it doesn't actually matter, and it's not going to directly reflect your health. Your body size does not directly reflect the status of your health. So one big problem is people often get confused because they'll start engaging in health promoting behaviors like an exercise routine or changing up their diet, eating a more nutrient dense diet, and then their weight doesn't change. So what happens is they think that something is wrong with them because there's this idea that for becoming healthier, then our weight should change, right? So often if their weight doesn't change, they'll think they're doing something wrong and then they'll give up and they have no motivation to maintain these health promoting behaviors because the assumption is, well, if I'm not losing weight, then it's not actually doing anything for me. Another issue that occurs from focusing on weight when trying to improve health is people will go to extremes in order to make weight loss occur. So for example, if a doctor tells you, you just need to go lose weight, somebody might start in a really extreme exercise routine where they're exercising for like hours a day, or they're exercising really, really, really hard, not really resting, and they're also underfeeding themselves. So they're going on an extreme diet, cutting out food groups, and overall just undernourishing themselves, which might make them lose weight, but that is extremely unhealthy. Another really important aspect to talk about is that thin people actually struggle with all of the same diseases that people in larger bodies struggle with. Okay, that might sound a little shocking. So why is it that it seems like fat people struggle more with certain diseases? So this can all be explained by weight stigma. So what is weight stigma? One example of weight stigma is when a person in a larger body goes to the doctor and, they're experiencing symptoms and they tell the doctor about their health symptoms and the doctor automatically blames it on their weight. So maybe they have symptoms of something cancerous or symptoms of diabetes or symptoms of any sickness, really. What happens a lot of the time is the doctor will just say, oh, it's just your weight, you just need to lose weight. So the problem with doctors blaming it all on the weight is oftentimes proper tests don't get done. So that person is left with, oh, just go lose weight. The proper tests don't get done. They go home. They don't do anything about it besides trying to lose weight, which actually doesn't fix the problem. and the disease just ends up getting worse. Okay, so what are doctors supposed to do in this situation? Well, again, it goes back to the idea of what health at every size is, and it's all about promoting health, promoting behaviors. So instead of that doctor saying, oh, just go lose weight, they need to tell the person, oh, maybe you should go engage in health promoting behaviors. Because remember, what happens is when people are told, oh, just go lose weight, they're going to go to these extremes oftentimes, like over exercising and under eating, and their health actually gets worse. They might lose weight, but their health isn't actually improving. So health promoting behaviors look like moving your body in a joyful way. You actually don't need to exercise as much as we're told in order to experience health promoting behaviors. And as far as nutrition, it's all about just adding in nutrient dense foods and paying attention and giving compassion and awareness to what you're eating. For example, like, do I need to add more vegetables into my dinners? Am I getting enough fiber? Am I getting enough protein? This approach of, am I getting enough nutrients, rather than like, what can I eliminate? What can I take out? Because that actually results in restriction, which is unhealthy for your body, as we know. So another aspect of weight stigma is the fact that people are discriminatory against people in larger bodies. So if someone's in a larger body and they want to start working out, they might not want to go to the gym because they know that people are going to judge them for being in a larger body, so they don't even go to the gym in the first place. Or they don't want to go on a hike because they just don't want to be in public being seen in this larger body because people will judge them, because we live in a fat-phobic society. So one of my mentors, Brandon Tebow, actually uses this example of a person with darker skin, right? So if there were statistics saying that people with darker skin, people who are black, were more likely to have a certain type of cancer, say they go to their doctor and they tell their doctor that they're experiencing these symptoms of the cancer, and the doctor goes, oh yeah, black people have a higher chance of having this cancer, so you just need to bleach your skin. It's like, you would never tell somebody to just go bleach their skin because people who have dark skin are more likely to experience this health issue, right? Okay, but you might be asking, well, what if it directly is from their weight? So I want to get into what's called weight set point theory. So this says that genetically we are all predisposed to be at a certain weight, and that looks different for every single person. But this weight can fluctuate maybe 5 to 20 pounds throughout your lifetime, just naturally, depending on like what your environment looks like, how much sleep you're getting, what are you eating, how much are you moving. It can fluctuate 5 to 20 pounds. But everybody has a weight that their body is naturally happiest at. And for some people, that's a thinner body. For some people, that's a larger body. And for some people, it's somewhere in between. But whatever that weight is for you, that is the healthiest weight for you. No matter if it's thin, big, somewhere in the middle, that is where your body is going to function best at. So telling people to just simply lose weight is actually really harmful, because their bodies might naturally function best at a weight that's larger than what society deems as best. Okay, so going back to experiences at the doctor's office, thin people and people in larger bodies have very different experiences with the doctor. So for example, a thin person might go to the doctor and say, hey, I have joint pain, what do I do? Like, I can't function as well. The doctor might say, okay, let's just do some physical therapy. We're gonna do some strength training for you. Maybe you should do some massaging, right? So they will prescribe a solution for the thin person. But then if a person in a larger body comes in and says, hey, I have joint pain, I can't function as well, it says all the same things that the thin person says, the doctor might say something like, oh, just go lose weight. Rather than saying, oh, maybe we should put you in physical therapy, they automatically just blame it on the weight, when it might not necessarily be because of their weight. So again, going back to the idea of health promoting behaviors, I'm not saying that, oh, you shouldn't pay attention to your diet, oh, you shouldn't exercise. No, I'm saying that if everybody fed themselves nourishing food and moved their bodies in a way that felt good, got a good amount of exercise that improved their health, they might not necessarily lose weight or be in a thin body. So yes, having a proper diet can improve your health. Yes, moving your body can absolutely improve your health. But when we have this focus on losing weight, it actually turns us away from focusing on real true health, and then instead make us focus on just making our body smaller, which actually isn't true health. So I want to go into how certain health promoting behaviors can be taken to a very high extreme, to the point where they're no longer health promoting. So for example, if somebody wants to improve their health and they decide to change the way they eat, if you're like, I'm just gonna only eat whole foods, this can become problematic when you start avoiding social events because you're afraid they're not gonna have the food that fits your diet. You start tracking everything you eat and become obsessive about it and can't stop thinking about it. Maybe that leads to binges because in a way you're restricting, and because you're restricting, food is always on your mind, or you're craving certain foods and you end up binging on those foods that you've been restricting. And all in all, that is just not sustainable, right? And it's affecting your social life at a certain point. Like maybe you'll stop going out with friends, maybe you'll stop engaging in the social events that you once did because you're afraid that you're gonna eat food that doesn't fit your new diet. And what Health at Every Size also focuses on is that emotional, mental, and spiritual health are all just as important as physical health. And actually, a ton of studies have shown that social health is the most significant way to determine the longevity of somebody's life. So social health is one of the most important aspects of longevity. And so if your lifestyle, if your way of eating is affecting your social life, then it's not actually healthy for you, and it could be harming your overall health. And one other way we can see health promoting behaviors going to extremes is exercising. So exercise is really pushed in our culture, and I'm not saying movement is bad. I majored in exercise science. I believe in exercise. I personally love exercise. I know that it's good for the body, but I do think there is a fine line. So again, just like with the dieting, if your exercise routine is getting in the way of you going to social events because, oh, if I go out to this party tonight, then I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow and I'm gonna miss my morning workout, or like I'm afraid to go on vacation because there's no gym around, I don't know how I'm gonna get my workout in, or you're avoiding engaging in certain social events because you don't want to miss your workout, or you're exercising so much that it's taking up so much of your time that you don't even have time or energy to dive into your passions and do the things that you care about. So again, that's another example how what's seen as a health promoting behavior can actually negatively impact your health. So just to wrap it all up, Health at Every Size recognizes that weight isn't actually in our control. And it's in our control to a very, very fine degree. So maybe if you engage in extreme behaviors, then your weight might change, but you really have to question, like, are these health promoting behaviors healthy? Am I taking them to too far of an extent? And am I doing them to focus on weight? And are they sustainable? So again, Health at Every Size focuses on helping people engage in health promoting behaviors while not focusing on weight or body size, because that's irrelevant to your actual well-being. And I just want to make it clear, diet culture is not about health. Diet culture is all about losing weight and changing your body in order to fit a certain ideal. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to do was just read this quote from a book called Body Respect. This is by the same authors that wrote Health at Every Size, Dr. Lindo Bacon and Lucy Aphramor. And it says, "Health at Every Size does not claim that everyone is at a healthy weight. What it does do is ask for respect and help people shift their focus away from changing their size to enhancing their self-care behaviors so that they let weight fall where it may naturally. It also keeps the role of lifestyle as a risk factor for disease in perspective." So, again, Health at Every Size is not healthy at every size. It's saying that when engaging in health promoting behaviors, that's gonna look different on every single body. Okay, so I hope that helped clear things up a little bit. I hope you were able to learn a little bit about Health at Every Size and gain an understanding of why it's important. And if you have any questions about Health at Every Size, if there's anything I didn't cover in this video, please feel free to ask any questions. You can shoot me a DM or a comment on this post and I will gladly answer any questions you have. All right, thank you for watching.